Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is cohort, a companion or colleague, a band or group, a group of individuals having a statistical factor such as age or class membership in common demographic study. I'm going to keep going. One of 10 divisions of an ancient Roman legion, a group of warriors or soldiers. So I took this as the term companion. That's kind of where I started to go with this. It's the most common word out of the three we've done this week so far. It's one that I've heard of, and I've probably used. I might have used cohort once before. But so we're gonna go into the notebook because I actually wrote a lot. I wrote 3 pages on cohort. So let's go read them. Companion, character or creature that can do actions for you. A character that you can bounce off of and make you better. I also wrote band or group and then I crossed it out for whatever reason. But as I started getting into this, I thought of a deck of playing cards. And a lot of times I go to playing cards for game design because of, one, as a format, because I'm just so used to making card games and cards, and you can get a lot out of that. But playing cards for two would be the individual makeup of a deck of playing cards. There's so many different variables in it, where it's the suits, the colors, the numbers, the rank, it's the rank and the suit, but there's also the colors. So there's 2 different colors. There are 4 different suits. There's ace through 10, jack, queen, king. So there's 13 there. So there's all these different variables and the way that it breaks down in all these different ways, which is neat. And it's really helpful when designing games. So I went with, and I haven't read this back since I wrote it, so I'm just sort of reading it straight. I went with a deck of playing cards, and I said a body of troops was a suit. A group with something in common was a number, and a single companion was a unique card, which is the combination of a suit and a number. I said a suit allows you to use that suit's specialty, but at an amount equal to the number of cards that you hold in that suit. A group allows you to go deeper, with each card of the same number doing their action equal to the number. So imagine the suit action is lesser than the group action, which is a little better, and then a single or a unique lets you do something very, very special that is unique to all cards. So that's only once in the deck. And then I went to the next page and just made a game. I just wrote it out as like I was pitching a game. Cohort is an abstract strategy game that is card driven. The goal of the game is to reach the center of the board before any of your opponents. The board is a 9x9 chess style board that you start out with unique characters along the edge, with 9 unique characters along the edge. I can tell you right now that this changes by the end. So it was a good starting point, but there's a neat ending point that I'm excited to get to. To activate a character or characters, you will choose 1 or more of your 9 cards and play them, passing them to the opponent on your left. And then I wrote, actually, you will choose 2 cards. I don't know why I wrote that. 2 cards. 1 is your choice of action, which is the suit, number, or the unique. And the second is the card that's in question. So that I was just getting really specific in how you can physically do this. You would choose 2 cards, and one represents the rank or suit, and the other one represents, the other would be card that says either suit, number, or unique. Seemed like it was like a simultaneous reveal or some sort of way to get around that, but that's irrelevant at this point. So I may play a 7 of the heart suit, which means all of my hearts take their suit action, and then I pass all of those cards to my left. So if that's what I chose was my suit action, all of my cards the same suit do that, and then we pass it. Now, how does this make any sense from a theme or even a purpose standpoint? And I said, let's think of it as a sport. The sport is getting to a ball that's in the center and bringing it back to your line. So imagine, is there a sport that's like that? Let's say football. The 50-yard line is where we put the football. And then the two teams have to start in their own end zones and fight their way to the middle. Really just run their way to the middle because there's nothing blocking them at that point. And the first one to get it turns around and starts bringing it back to their line. If they're stopped, then they're playing whatever, football, and trying to get it to the end. So I thought of this as like a chessboard, and there's the footballs in the center. Players are on both edges, and you're working your way to the middle. Eventually you get it, and you're going to work your way back. But thinking of it in like a two-player sense, what I had was you each controlled half of this board independent of each other. So when I work my way to the middle and then work my way back, you are doing the same thing on your side of the board. So if I'm on my far left third space in, you're mirroring me, and you're on your far right third space in. We're essentially in the same space if you split that board down the middle. And that's how I was picturing the game was, if you're on that space, you're essentially blocking me. You're playing your own little map. I'm playing my own little map. It just happens to be shared. But that's complicated, and like a lot of games I make, it's just weirder than it needs to be. But if your opponent is on the same space, the mirror, as your character, then the character is holding the ball or whatever, then it's challenged. And it's a mirror image of this like chessboard that's split down the center. But I thought of an idea on how to twist that and make it actually not weird. And it was basically, if you took a chessboard and folded it in half and sat it on the table, if I'm on my third space from the left and you're on your third space on the right or whatever, we're on the same space. And if this chessboard was see-through, I mean, it's just, I say it's getting less weird, but it's kind of weird. Just imagine as a see-through, folded in half chessboard that's on there. You could see my pawn on my side sticking through and your pawn on the other side, and we're on that same space. We're all relative to, space from the ground, space from the top, space from that center where that ball started. But instead of working your way to the center and back to yours, you're working your way up to get that ball at the top center and then down to the bottom. And if somebody is on the opposite side of this board on the same space as you, and we can see through it because it's clear glass or whatever, then it's challenged and it might change hands on the other side. So if that makes any sense at all, maybe think of like if you think of like how a battleship, like the part that stands up is your opponent's battlefield. Imagine two of those back to back, but see-through. So I'm putting something on mine, see-through to yours, and if we're on the same space, then it's challenged. So getting back to the mechanics of this, is a challenge would look at three things. The number of suit, so let's just say it's hearts. How many hearts there are in play. Or the number of the number, so how many 3s or 7s or whatever it is in play. Or the individual number, if there's just one of it. Just looks at the number itself. So the number of the same suit, if you have more than your opponent that challenged you, you keep the ball. But if you're tied, you go down. You go down to the next one down, which is the number of the number. So if we have the same amount of suit, then we go down to numbers. If we have the same amount of those, we go down to the individual number and see which one's higher than each other. And then my notebook just says, this talks about folding a checkerboard or chessboard in half, the ball on top, and I got a couple images. This is one that definitely could use an image to explain it, but you work your way up, you grab that ball, you work your way down. The mirror image where your opponent is playing, they're on their, we're not sharing a board, and there's nothing like that. I almost think of this as like a futuristic, Connect Four / Battleship style map board where you're moving your sports characters. I don't know. It's just it's a weird concept, but I really liked where this was going, and I stopped it right there. I stopped it to make notes about the podcast in general, and then I never went back. Let me see. Nope. Ended up with that was the end of the diary. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but the way the word brings us out, cohort, was just this different versions of your companions. So when you're a suit, you've got all these people that are the same, all these characters. And thinking in this like football games, maybe they're all the same position. And then the number might be something less specific, or something slightly more specific than that is position, maybe defense versus offense or something along those lines. And then the most specific is just the unique characters. And as I was doing this, I really got thinking into this as an actual game more than a lot of times. But I was thinking, if I play all my sevens of hearts, I get to move all my sevens or all my hearts, and I pass the cards to my opponent. And I don't think I thought this out extremely well, but the issue that came to mind was that now you can just do the same action as me. Like we can constantly just do the same actions, and if I did it first, then I'm in a better position than you, or things like that. But I had the thought that it would benefit me in a different way than it would benefit you. So moving all my sevens isn't exactly the same as you moving all your sevens, because they may have started in different space or something along those lines. So it sounded like it had some flaws in it, but it's 3 pages of notes about a single word, so I'm sure it does have flaws in it. But that's it. That's what I have for Cohort. I ended up with some little sport that is a semi-abstract game with a super expensive glass upright playing board. Okay. So if you have anything for Cohort, give it a shot. Let me know. If you don't, I completely understand. And that's it for today. We'll see you next time on Design Diary.